Former NASA scientist says UFO pilots could be living beneath Earth's oceans in secret bases. We do have U.S. Navy images of UFOs plunging into the ocean and coming out of the ocean and in hyperspeeds going into the air, into the skies. Now, for years, NASA's whistleblowers have been claiming that they saw evidence of extraterrestrials. They believe Earth is in regular contact with intelligent beings from other worlds. How true are these claims, though? And are there really artificial structures on the moon, secret colonies on Mars, Apollo 11 alleged UFO encounters, etc.? That's the question. Well, these conspiracies shape the field of ufology, which have come to an extent that now NASA officially joined the hands of the UFO investigation, and the agency, NASA, finally admitted the gravity of the situation. Moreover, a big revelation on UFOs and extraterrestrial life was made by former NASA research scientist Kevin Knuth in 2018. On his personal blog that probably went unnoticed, Knuth shared the UFO evidence he collected in his professional career that intentionally was covered by the government around the world, he says. Kevin Knuth described two personal stories about the speculation of extraterrestrials. The first one came at a 2002 NASA Contact Conference, which focused on serious speculation about extraterrestrials. And during the meeting, a concerned participant said loudly in a sinister tone, "You have absolutely no idea what is out there." The silence was palpable as the truth of this statement sunk in. His second story is from 1988. During his graduation from Montana State University, his physics professor told the class that he had colleagues working at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana, where they were having problems with UFOs shutting down nuclear missiles. This very news was later confirmed when Knuth saw a recording of the press conference featuring several former U.S. Air Force personnel, with a couple from Malmstrom Air Force Base describing similar occurrences in the 1960s. Professor Knuth firmly believes that in the alien life and non-terrestrial nature of UFOs. He's inspired by the theory given by nuclear physicist Enrico Fermi, who asked, "Where is everybody?" That is, asking the question, where are all these extraterrestrials? So he's inspired by the theory given by nuclear physicist Enrico Fermi about the contact with intelligent civilizations. Fermi estimated there were about 300 billion stars in the galaxy, many of them billions of years older than the Sun, with a large percentage of them likely to host habitable planets. Even if intelligent life developed on a very small percentage of these planets, then there should be a number of intelligent civilizations in the galaxy. And depending on the assumptions, one should expect anywhere from tens to tens of thousands of civilizations, he claimed. In 1961, American scientist Frank Drake took the first steps to quantify the field by developing the now famous Drake equation, a simple algebraic expression that provides an estimate for the number of communication civilizations in the Milky Way. Professor Knuth estimated that it would take somewhere around 5 and 50 million years for a civilization like ours to colonize the Milky Way. According to him, this should have happened in the history of our galaxy, but where is the evidence? This discrepancy between the expectation that there should be evidence of alien civilizations or visitations and the presumption that no visitations have been observed has been dubbed the Fermi paradox. Government's cover-up? Professor Knuth said that the topic of UFOs is considered taboo in the scientific community, with many organizations finding excuses for various UFO sightings. For example, there are times when the weather or human activities are excuses for alien sightings. The result is that UFOs are largely not included as a possibility for scientific study and discussions. And further, he said, the situation is worsened by the fact that many governments around the world have covered up and classified information about such encounters, but there are enough scraps of evidence that suggests that the problem needs to be open to scientific study, which has already begun. Strong UFO evidence from the past. Professor Knuth says there have been documented cases of UFO sightings, including through telescopes. He said the sightings go all the way back to the 1700s, which are well documented in the book Wonders in the Sky by Jacques Vallée. He discussed one study performed by an astrophysicist at Stanford University named Peter Sturrock, when the professor found out that 5% of UFO sightings were never explained. He also said that numerous countries had declassified UFO files, including Canada, France, Ecuador, and the United Kingdom. There are cases when the United States even funded alien probes, but some findings have not been declassified yet, and Knuth argues that these cases should encourage scientific research. Released by the Chilean government in 2017 is the most convincing observation that came from government officials. Former NASA research scientists asked the scientific community to begin investigations on UFOs 4 years earlier, which hints at how much the scientists lost as the UFO topic was taboo for them. Now, the alien life underwater. Professor Knuth believes that pilots of UFOs could be living underneath our oceans. In 2021, he provided a logical reason behind this theory in his informative interview on Theories of Everything with Kurt Jaimangal. Kurt asked Professor Knuth if he knew aliens might be hiding in places like our oceans, and Knuth thought it could be possible. He said that oceans cover most of the Earth, making them a good hiding spot. Kevin also said that if aliens came from a place with lots of water, living in Earth's oceans would be easy for them. If you live in an ocean, he said, going to another planet with an ocean is actually a pretty good thing, Knuth explained. He detailed how water, being non-compressible, would provide consistent pressure, and the temperature variations in aquatic environments on different planets would be relatively moderate compared to the extreme conditions on planetary surfaces. He said if you come from an aquatic environments on planets are going to be much better to live in than atmospheric environments. Atmospheres have low heat capacity, so the temperature varies a lot, and you get huge temperature variations. And then going from planet to planet, you have huge temperature variations in the atmosphere. Go to Mars and you're looking at 100 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Go to Venus and you're looking at 800 degrees Fahrenheit. It's dramatic. And the air pressure is dramatically different too, from planet to planet, he explained. The interview got even more interesting when they talked about where these aliens might live. Kurt wondered if they were hiding underground or in small spaceships. Knuth thought it depended on how many aliens there were. He said, depends on how many people you have in there. Kurt shared that he was not usually into wild stories or mysteries, but this topic was too interesting to ignore. He wondered if maybe humans are just an experiment by these aliens. Knuth had a thought about this. He said, if they're DNA-based, then it's hard to imagine that we're not related in some way. He meant that if aliens are like us in some biological ways, then maybe we're connected somehow. What if these aliens are so different from us that meeting them could be dangerous? Knuth mentioned a scientist named Stuart Kaufman who had ideas about this. He said, you would not want to come in contact with their organic molecules because you don't know what kind of reactions you would have. In simpler terms, if aliens have different chemicals in their bodies, touching them might not be safe for us. Considering Professor Knuth's speculations on underwater alien life, there are numerous recorded incidents of spotting UFOs going in and out of oceans. In 2021, a retired British police officer, Gary Heseltine, who is the vice president of the new International Coalition for Extraterrestrial Research, ICER, told The Sun that UFOs may not be coming from space, but rather from beneath the sea amid a string of strange encounters involving U.S. warships. That sounds crazy, but if you think about it, we only know 5% of the ocean. We know more about the surface of the moon or Mars than we know about our own oceans. So that would seem to me why UFOs are seen regularly coming in and out of the water. Drawing together the nuclear and underwater theories, Mr. Heseltine said, If you think about it, if there was World War III and we made toxic all the water, then that would affect their habitat. That's why I think there's a correlation with water. They have bases and we only know 5% of the ocean. Scientist Bob McGuire has provided great insight into underwater UFO sightings. He disclosed 2 incidents about underwater UFOs or USOs that he saw while performing covert operations. This claim was made several months ago, several months after a video had been made public by the United States military, in which it appeared to show an unidentified flying object moving from the sky into the water in the year 2019. And this is on News Tangale 24. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.